Another thing that I think people often bring up in these like conspiracy sort of circles, one of the big ones is the idea that non-citizens are voting all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Maddie, can you tell us whether this is happening in your frontline experience? Are non-citizens committing rampant voter fraud in states like California and New York?
Well, rampant voter fraud, period, is just not something that happens and is happening. That's not to say that there aren't occasional instances where someone casts a ballot who is not eligible to cast a ballot for, a variety of reasons. There are a lot of reasons that that could happen, but for the most part, there are a lot of checks and balances on our election system, and those individuals are caught. We know if someone votes twice. We know if someone is not eligible, but they cast a ballot. We know if, a spouse casts their other spouse's ballot, right? Like, it's not perfect, but it's pretty freaking good.
And we hear about every instance of it happening
We
as
And
do.
well.
you hear about it
We
happening
do.
every time that it happens because it is so rare, right?
Because
Like
it is so rare.
it's like how every time that something happens on the subway, like you hear about this horrible thing that happened on the New York subway, because it's not common that these things actually happen. Whereas there's
Right.
something like 200 car crashes in New York City every day, and like, you know,
Well, you hear about it.
a good number of those result in injuries. There's something like 200 vehicle deaths in New York City every year. And you don't hear about it at all because it's just another Tuesday, right? Like we said, sort of up at the top, things are only reported on when they don't work. It's boring
Right.
when it works, and
Right.
unfortunately, we've had a lot of non-boring elections.
We've had non-boring elections, and not even non-boring elections because things haven't worked. I mean, these are systems, like, we're conducting thousands of elections when we conduct a federal election, right? I think Wisconsin alone has thousands of election jurisdictions, and they're one state. There's a lot of instances for normal mistakes to happen, and the issue really comes when those normal mistakes are sold as coordinated efforts to elect the person that the people didn't choose. And that's where we cause a lot of problems because it sows distrust in the process. It makes people not trust, not even necessarily the election in their own state, but the elections that are happening in other states that contribute to a national result.